Ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages and star systems, hello and welcome to Soulful. Bum, 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 bum. That feels good. A little dramatic, but, feels like a nice way to kick things off here. Hello, welcome to the podcast. Welcome to Soulful. My name is Andrew J. Assini for official paperwork purposes, but most folks just call me Drew. And I am super pumped, super excited to be here with y'all, kicking off this new podcast adventure. And we're going to do it in style. We're going to go big right out of the gate and give you a 3-part opening extravaganza. Yeah, we're going to give you 3 episodes up front here to, give you an opportunity to get a nice sampling of the mojo and the frequency that Soulful is on and, the energy that's coming through here. So that way you'll know pretty quickly whether or not this is for you or not. And I might do some disclaimers towards the end of the episode. We'll see. I do have an outline here, though, and I'm going to do my best to work off of it. In full transparency, I have been known to ride tangents off in random directions and go off script from time to time, but we'll all be surprised together how things actually unfold. All that being said, yes, I do have an outline and a game plan for this episode and the first 3. And I want to give that to you here up front so you know what to expect. And then I will drop into some of the sharing that I want to do here for the first episode. So that's the game plan. I will do my best to adhere and stick to it, but I cannot always promise how things will turn out, which, it's just, that's life, man. So, all right. First thing on the agenda, give you the game plan for the first 3 episodes. Let's do it. So this first episode, I'm doing this open and babbling, and then I'm going to share on the vision for the podcast, which I think will be helpful. And I'll probably touch into some of the topics and the content that you can look forward to hearing about. And maybe some fun disclaimers at the end. We'll see how things go. And that'll be it for this episode. Then part 2, the next episode, the focus will be more on who I think I am, some of my background and my experiences, which I think will be helpful to give you some insight into where I'm speaking from as I'm sharing about a whole bunch of stuff on the podcast. Yeah, that'll be the focus for part 2, episode 2. And then part 3, the finale of the opening extravaganza. The 3rd episode, I'm going to focus sharing about the beautiful little sweet spot I find myself in at this moment in time on my own personal journey, which also includes the work that I'm doing with folks. So that's the game plan. Also, you may or may not notice in the background of these episodes a rich landscape of sounds and noises. I'm doing this in Mexico in my little flat, my little apartment here. So, there may be a rich background or not. I don't know what the mic will pick up on, but just letting you know ahead of time in case there's weird sounds or random dogs or motorcycles. So, all right, good. All right, so that's the outline. That's the Mexico noise disclaimer. Good. Yeah, awesome. So let's jump into then the vision for the podcast. Yeah, cool. All right. So the hope, the goal, the vision for Soulful is that it's on a certain frequency that you can feel, like in your being. Right? And so the hope here is that I'm going to be sharing from a place that lands in a similar place within you, within your being or your presence, or however you might understand it. And so that'll be the metric that I kind of measure myself against with each episode. Like how honest, how sincere, how authentic am I sharing? Am I coming to y'all? And if I'm being my honest, authentic self, that means I'm going to move in and out of a variety of moods and perspectives. At times, I'll be real heartfelt and sincere. At other times, I'll be super cheeky and mischievous. But the whole time, the goal for this experience will be to offer something really, really honest and sincere that speaks from soul to soul. And if you don't like the soul word, that's cool. Just throw that out. Put in spirit or higher self or essence or Buddha nature. Whatever feels good for you and your framework. Cool. Yeah. So we're going to explore a bunch of different topics, and I'll share more on those in a minute. But I feel less bound or obliged to share on specific topics and more loyal to a certain frequency, a certain wavelength of energy, right? So that's the vision coming in here. Just try to be on a certain radio station, the Soul to Soul radio network. All right, cool. That feels good. So stay tuned for honest, authentic, sincere, fun, cheeky, lighthearted, deep, sometimes even heavy, right? Like the full spectrum of the human experience will show up here. And and I'm excited about that. Because in the past, my last podcast, I feel like I, in a way, painted myself into a corner at times, trying to be a certain version of myself and share on topics that I thought, needed to be shared on. Whereas this time, you're just getting me, whoever I am, all of the me's, and whatever feels real and honest for me to share about. So, cool. Bing, bang, boom. All right, so a little bit more here. My hope is that Soulful will be soul food, right? It will be a nourishing experience for the deepest parts of yourself. Yeah, doesn't sound... My brain's like, that's kind of inappropriate. But no, I'm talking about, nourishing in a way that feels, good in your heart, in your being, in your soul. All right, so soul food. Also, the hope is that Soulful will be soul fuel. So listening to the podcast will fill you up and provide some inspiration, maybe some content that you can relate to. Whatever it is at the end of an episode, you're feeling maybe a little seen, a little recognized, a little less alone, and your tank is a little more full to go out there and do this wild human ride. Because I would definitely identify as a spiritual being having a very human experience. And so my hope is that this podcast will deliver on that wavelength in a way that nurtures and encourages and fills your tank. So soul fuel, soul food. And when I was playing with names for the podcast, one of the suggestions I got was to call it Soul Fool, which I like that term, but not for the podcast itself. For me, as I've shared, the vision is pretty clear. But I think this is an experience for soul fools, right? People who are a fool for the soul. Right? And not like, oh, you're gullible, knucklehead, silly, less intelligent, not like that, but really a fool in a sense of like an innocent trust, right, in the soul. And I feel like in a lot of ways, the whole healing, recovery, spiritual awakening, embodiment journey is an ever increasing trust, right, and a deepening in our faith or trust, or a deepening in our ability to lean in and letting go of the control and really just trusting life, or our own intuitive intelligence or wisdom. So my hope is that this will be content, right, that these episodes will really ring home for folks that have given themselves to a soul oriented experience, or a spiritual oriented experience. And and the other thing that I'm seeing clearly is like in the tarot, right? How the tarot is a fool's journey. So the same kind of thing here, that we are soul fools. We are taking the leap, or in a journey, or in a process of leaning further and further off the cliff into the abyss, and being pleasantly surprised by how life, or spirit, or soul, or higher power, or God, or whatever, catches us, and and opens up a totally different experience. So that feels good. So Soulful is hopefully soul food, soul fuel, and for soul fools. Sweet. And then there's a nice segue here. I think talking about who the podcast is for. I'll speak a little bit to it, but ultimately, like, you'll know in your own being if this is for you, right? If this resonates, trust that, rock with it. If it doesn't, time's a limited resource. I get it. Go have fun doing other stuff. But I feel like the content and the topics that we'll get into here will be juicy and relatable and interesting for folks that are in a process, or in a program, or on a journey of healing or recovery. When I say recovery, I don't just mean substances, right? Like relationship recovery flavored stuff, mental health recovery, right? Like however you identify being on a journey of healing, recovery, awakening, right? I think this will be on your wavelength, right up your alley. If you're like a spiritual seeker, or you're somebody who's looking for like bigger meanings to things, or deeper meanings to things, I think you'll dig some of the content here. If you're a travel-oriented person, if you like traveling, if you've already caught the travel bug, or you like to live vicariously through other people's travel adventures, you'll dig some of the content here. Because I'll be sharing about some of my traveling adventures, especially over the last 5 years. I'll be sharing about recovery, addiction, healing, codependency, mental health stuff. And again, like whatever feels good, whatever feels on point and on wavelength, will be what shows up here on the podcast. And I'll definitely be open to feedback or requests or suggestions. If y'all are thinking that it would be cool to hear about this or that, hit me up. And if it feels good, if it feels aligned, very, very may likely, that's not right. I may very likely, there you go, roll with the suggestion, and then create a podcast. An episode or two. So, cool. Also, spirituality stuff. So I'm more of like a grounded, practical spirituality kind of guy. And I don't want to go too far into who I think I am in this episode, but you'll hear about some spirituality stuff, but it won't be too like woo-woo or fluffy. What else? I feel like that's a good introduction. And then, in the sweet spot, which I'm going to talk about in episode 3, definitely look forward to hearing about authenticity, self-acceptance, self-compassion, self-awareness. I'm big on the self-discovery kick. Like for me, this journey is about just learning about ourselves. It's not so much like fixing broken things or finding lost whatever or becoming something else. It's much more about just recognizing and accepting in a deeper way the beauty of what we already are, have always been, will always be. So, yeah. So that feels good. All right. So that's pretty much that's content, topics, and wavelength, goals, vision. Yeah, that's all right there. Beautiful. All right. And disclaimers, I mean, like, if you don't want to hear stuff that doesn't confirm what you already think you know, then probably this isn't the podcast for you. I mean, I don't know. I think a lot of the stuff I share will be relatable because I'm not the only person who's walking this walk and learning and growing as a human. So, yeah, I'm just, in my prior experience in life, for the last however many decades, I've gotten not always pleasant responses to when I share honestly. And sometimes it's because I share honestly with a little edge or some anger, right? Which is my stuff. But yeah, I've just found in my life that when I share honestly about stuff, it's not always well received. So I feel like I want to do a preemptive disclaimer, like, oh, blah, blah, blah. But I love that I'm catching it right now in this moment. And you know what? Like, I don't know. Like, if you're here and you dig it, you're along for the ride. So that's cool. And I super appreciate it. And if this isn't your flavor, that's cool, man. Like, go do your thing. Yeah. I don't have to take care of other people's feelings about me being myself, which is actually a relatively new recognition in my life. So yeah, you can definitely look forward to hearing me share about some codependency stuff and some deeper recovery things. But yeah, no disclaimers. Screw it. If you got feelings about what I share, those are your feelings. That's your responsibility. Feel them. And I guess, like, if you want to talk about it, I'm available. I still want to help, but yeah, this feels good. I'm here to be available, to support folks. I mean, it's part of what I do. It's part of my reason for existing, probably. But yeah, if somebody has a response or a reaction to my truth, that's theirs to deal with. It's not my responsibility, which is a newer learning that I'm still learning how to, like, actually put into practice too. So, but in this moment, it feels like I'm doing that, which is nice. All right. I feel myself approaching the rambling and bambling zone. So I'm going to do a time check. Oh, yeah. Awesome. We're going to keep this one a little bit shorter. We've already hit all our goals. Sweet. All right. So then we'll wrap up this first episode. Again, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for listening. My hope is that you will, really find this experience to be beneficial, helpful, relatable, fun, entertaining. And if you don't, that's too bad. You should deal with that. Because I'm just going to keep doing my thing. And, yeah. And if you dig it, beautiful, awesome, wonderful, thank you. Yeah, I'm excited for this to begin and for me to share from a place that feels more honest and authentic. Yeah, really as much me as I've ever been, which is a cool direction to be heading in life, to becoming increasingly more authentic and myself, which is deeply tied into my ability to continually let go more and more and surrender more and more, right? And trust life or the universe or, whatever. To be a soul fool. Just lean in, let go, and trust. So, yeah, so that's what we're going to do here. Love it. All right. That's the first episode. Thanks for listening. Hopefully you tune in for the next one where I'll share a little bit more about myself in case that's something you're interested in. And otherwise, be well. Take care of yourself. Be gentle with yourself. It's a crazy world out here. It seems like everybody has lost their dang mind, or most of the folks I, witness from afar. Because at this point, I don't really go out of my way to hang out with folks that are really out of touch with themselves. But that being said, there is an ever increasing number of us who are more and more in touch with ourselves and living more and more of an authentic experience. And this is for us. This is for you. And so if you can relate, thank you for being you and living your truth and showing up in a way that the world desperately needs. So thank you. Be well. Stay awesome. Take care of yourself. Be gentle. and maybe tune in for the next episode too. All right, y'all. Love you.